Do you want to take the lead?
Hey everyone, so welcome back to, this is the finals of the worst RTT at Charity Hammer. This is the fourth Charity Hammer. It's got some name to do with a 4 in it. I can't remember it. I am Alex from Best in Tabletop Frontiers. I'm here with Chris, who, you're Overcharged Plasma Gaming, right? That's
Yes,
your,
that's my channel. Is currently taking a brief break whilst we get a film studio built, but I'm also part of Team Scotland. I'm also one of Innes's motley crew over from Fight Club. So yeah.
yeah. And so yeah, on screen at the moment we have the final of the worst RTT. So there were a number of players, I think 8, tasked with writing the worst list they could with like still a coherent theme. And then so these were 8 top players going to Charity Hammer, and then the lists were semi-randomly redistributed to the other players. And then they were told, all right, do the best you can. So this is a bit like the Blunderdome that Goonhammer ran, if anyone is familiar with that.
Yeah,
so
it's a good like concept for a little opening tournament, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just a great palate cleanser, as Adam was calling it before I took over his spot for an hour.
Yeah, so with the new, this is being played with the old points and missions, because the lists had to be pre-approved to make sure they were appropriately bad but appropriately themed. And yeah, I think on the other stream we might, just to confuse everyone, have something with new points and missions. I'm not quite sure what they are at the moment, but we'll cover that when we switch over.
Yeah.
And so playing here we have Sean Naden playing Orc list written by Seth the Mad Doc. So it's a whole bunch of Orc walkers. There is a full super heavy detachment with Morkanauts and Gorkanauts, and some other stuff. Some Death Dreads and Super Mega Dreads or something. There are Orky cans.
There's a whole bunch of units I've never heard of. It's great.
Yeah. There are not killer cans, but there is every tier of Orc 2-legged walker other than Stompers. Everything between killer can and Stomper. And against that we have Hank Adams of the Pacific Northwest playing Eldar, and this is a list that Sean, his opponent, wrote. I think this is the second pass, because the first version of the list was deemed not bad enough when it was a bunch of Aspect Warriors and their Phoenix Lords. So I think now it's a bunch of Wraithblades and still a pile of Phoenix Lords.
Yeah, I mean it can still do work, because you got a bunch of idiots running around with like 3 damage caps on, and if you have enough of them, they'll do something, I'm sure. But they're going into some pretty tough orcs, so I mean, maybe if you throw enough dice at a Morkanaut, it will go away. But when the dice is kind of a quality, then we'll have to see.
Yeah, so there's a whole bunch of -1 damage going all around, because the Wraiths are -1 damage and the Orcs are all ramshackle. And I believe Wraithblades are strength less than 8 to damage, so that output will be getting...
It depends on the weapon they have. I think the axes are like strength 6 or strength 7, and the swords, they get more attacks, but they're strength 5. So the swords might actually be better just because of the more attacks.
Yeah, and but are they 2 damage, I believe?
I will check, because again, it's I haven't ever really looked at, because it wasn't part of Hail of Doom.
That's fair. I know the Wraiths used to be D3, but I think they've been brought in line to 2, which is just worse when they are hitting ramshackle walkers.
It's going to be like a nerf bat.
Yeah, and and so fitting with the theme of playing like the worst things in the worst RTT, we are playing on the worst missions. So this started with Scouring round 1, which I don't think is actually that bad now. Then moved on to Tide of Conviction for the previous, like the second round of the tournament. And now we are playing Abandoned Sanctuaries, I think. You can't forward deploy or pre-game move, and all the objectives are in the middle. Yeah, suffer, go in the open.
Yeah, the mission territory for this one is kill a thing in the middle, stand in the middle, hold the middle at the end of the game. So going second here is actually quite a big swing because you just I think get 5 points for holding the middle when the game ends, which is just that when the lists are kind of this bad, that can make a lot of difference.
That was our theory when Adam and I were commentating last round, but both of these lists, there were handshakes about 2/3 of the way into the round, time-wise.
Fair enough.
And I'm not sure how they worked out in terms of turns.
I have an answer to our Wraithblade question. So the Ghost Axes, which I think 2 of the units are rocking, the Ghost Axe and the 4 shields are damage 2. But then the Ghost Swords, they get 2 extra attacks, and the damage 1. But it is Strength 6, AP 3, so the AP might help them out there. Yeah. It's
okay.
It's just going to be a whole bunch of. I'm going to roll a lot of dice your way, and hope to do some damage.
Yeah.
On both sides.
I am hoping to see a Phoenix Lord die to ramming speed.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there are surprisingly some shooting. There's a fair bit of shooting output from the Orc list. And so they can do some to Phoenix Lords if they get caught in the open. And then ramming speed on the charge and combat damage could get through them and their wound gates.
I want to see at least 2. So I want to see a chain reaction of 2 or 3 Orc vehicles explode. That's what I want to see. I want to see that happen. I know it's low chances, but it'll be awesome. But how about the chat? What does the chat want to see out of this game? What are the chat's predictions for this game? Keen to see what the audience thinks.
Seems like, do we have much going on YouTube chat? Someone is keen to see Mitch fight some bugs, so know where to watch that. I think they're asking about other streams. And sorry guys, we are trying to manage 2 different versions of the mainstream. Do you happen to know, Chris, what the other streams were for Charity Hermit? One of them is probably the Art of War stream.
Yes, so you have the Art of War stream because they were having some technical issues at the start. I'm casting my mind back about 9 hours now, whenever this thing started. I will mention it's currently 2 a.m. for me, so my brain is not currently functioning. This is going to be very interesting for me and for you listening home. So I think we have the Art of War stream, and I think we have this stream. I think that's the 2 streams currently running, I want to say.
Yeah. Right. So there was a roll off for deployment, and people have started deploying. So I think Sean ended up choosing the deployment zone, whether or not he wanted that, based off of the fact that there appears to be 1 big stompy Orc robot and 1 unit of Hank's Eldar getting put down second.
Yeah.
Is that maybe there might be would it be Dark Reapers or Rangers? Maybe I see. They could be Dark Reaper missile launchers, or they could just be Rangers.
I think they're Dark Reapers based on the shape of their guns.
And because Dark Reapers...
Of course, they can't forward deploy the Rangers this mission, so,
I don't know if Rangers have forward deploy anymore. They might be deep striking.
I think
Rangers can do that. Not in this mission, anyway. I'm confident on that.
Not in this one.
Yeah. All right. Sean is putting down his second big stompy robot. And I suppose Rangers, that's something that almost got him last game, is in those choke points in the deployment zones. He almost got move blocked by some Gene Stealers last round. Fortunately, the big Knight-based Orc Knights, the Gorkanaut and Morkanaut, can walk over non-vehicle and monsters. But with no forward deploy, it's not a thing he needs to worry about turn 1, I think. I hear Eldar are fast, though.
I don't think they're that fast, and not with this list anyway. I mean, if there were some shiny spears, then
that is true.
Or some bikes.
Yeah.
Or even some Sleeping Hawks. Are there Sleeping Hawks in this list?
I don't think so. Those are not yet nerfed in the points we're playing in this game, so could be considered good. Therefore, are not allowed in this RTD because this is for things that are bad. Hence, we are commentating, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
According to YouTube chat, Mr. SP in the chat, Rangers can forward deploy, not deep strike. So there you go. We have an answer to that question, but not in this mission because mission rule says no.
Yeah.
Nothing can happen before the first movement phase.
And yeah, speaking of things that are bad, sick kids in hospitals not having things like toys and entertainment is bad. We like to help with that. So that's why Charity Hammer is supporting Child's Play, and both ways it's a partnership. So yeah, people should give money to Child's Play. I assume there are links in descriptions because that's what I've been saying, and that's what you say when you're talking on YouTube platforms.
I can confirm.
Yeah, and so yeah, every $30 you donate will get you a raffle ticket where you can win a whole bunch of prizes. You could win a $1,200 voucher to Hammerhead Games, so you can use that to buy Warhammer models, Outward Realms models, which is Michael Timpo's game. You could buy Marvel Crisis Protocol. You could buy Star Wars Legion if that's what you're into. I'm not sure if you would. It's a
pretty good game.
Yeah. The second place prize is Sean Naden, who is playing both sides of this game. Will commission paint you an army with a caveat of you can't use, a horde. He has some level of restriction.
I think he said not 700 models, so therefore 600 should be fine.
$699. Okay, you heard it from a man. Yeah.
Grot Horde, let's go.
Yeah. And there are a whole bunch of other prizes. There are big box sets. There are Art of War coaching subscriptions. Like so many other things. Yeah, and also you are supporting Child's Play. So it's an international organization. They support both providing toys and games and game consoles and such to children's hospitals, and also domestic abuse shelters. They do this around the world. They are for sure in North America and Australia. I believe the UK as well. Do you know that, Chris?
I think it was mentioned somewhere that they are in the UK. So that's pretty awesome to have something a bit closer to me, but also is more about the worldwide mission as well of just helping sick kids get better because happy kids recover faster.
Yeah, for sure.
Games make people happy.
Yeah.
Yeah. As a kid, I had really bad asthma, so I was like always off from school and stuff like that, and having like just the games console at home super helped me just take the mind off like not being able to breathe. So just having that in a hospital setting, even more important.
Yeah. Is that like a prerequisite to get on Team Scotland for there, Chris?
What asthma?
Yeah. Is that a theme?
Well, I could certainly speak for 2 out of 8 out of the 9 of us who make up Team Scotland. Maybe they need to come on and commentate and share their own childhood ailments.
Yeah.
So who are these beautiful voices? Asked Sam Lemon in chat. We have Alex Towns over here. Say hi, Alex.
Hello. Hey, Sam. How you doing? I'm upset you don't recognize me from, our show that we do together, mate.
And you have me, that is Christopher Irvin of Team Scotland and Overcharged Plasma Gaming. I know some things about the game. Oh, wait. Those Rangers, they have forward deployed.
Hey, table host, machine spirit person, man, if you exist, are you able to like double check that those Rangers are allowed to go there? Because I don't think that's allowed on this mission. We could be wrong.
Right?
I am going to go double check that. I think I know things. I see abandoned sanctuaries. It is deployed like this. No man's land. Yeah, no, you can't. Those Rangers shouldn't be there. If I'm reading rules correctly.
Yes, if the machine spirit could please inform the heretical Eldari of their shenanigans.
Yeah. So, in the spirit of playing bad lists, and bad missions, people are playing the bad missions badly.
Yes. So I was at a at an event last weekend, and I had Tau round 1 in this mission. I was going, yes, if I forward on Fury, some Death Company forward, I can get a charger, maybe pick up a crisis unit. And then I double checked the mission rules. I was like, I cannot forward on Fury anything because it's a pre-game move.
Hey,
so,
Chris, you can fall on Fury. You're just going to be furious that you're stuck in your deployment zone, and not very forlorn.
I can just aggressively shuffle.
Yeah. Just march back and forth on your deployment line to show that you're upset.
Angrily stomps around in Death Company.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it looks like we have some Wraith Blades going down on the line. We looks to be the units with the Ghost Axes and Force Shields taking up the front with that Invan save. Meanwhile, we have a bunch of Orc vehicles I do not recognize up at the top. We have big things and littler things.
Yeah. So we have on the left, there is a it might look like a Chaos Forge Fiend, but I can promise you it is actually a mech dread. Because it has a mech inside. Then we have, I think that one's the Gorkanaut, and I think it has a shield. Then we have, it might look like a kill rig, but it's actually another Orkanaut. I think that one's a Morkanaut. Another Morkanaut, I believe. And then to the right we have what might look like a Mauler Fiend, but is in fact a Mega Dread. So okay. I think that's piloted by a Knob. Yeah.
And somewhere it looks like we have the Orcs going first, and a Phantasm being used to bring those Rangers back. Still, unfortunately, outside of the deployment zone, but I think we can't get messages through to the players.
No,
unfortunately,
we got half the message through. Okay, they did move further back. Yeah, we just didn't believe enough. In the spirit of Orcs being on the table, we didn't believe enough, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, let's go with it.
Yeah, let's go with that narrative. I mean, if all of the chat believes together and sing some songs, maybe we'll get the message through. We just need to appease the machine spirit enough.
I think those Rangers are not allowed to be outside of the deployment zone. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, machine spirit.
So yeah. But if things are moving, that might be a phantasm. There doesn't quite seem to be enough things on the table, but maybe that's just because there's 10 things in the Orc list, and then 3 units of Wraithblade and a vital characters for the Eldar.
It looks like Baharoth or someone with rings just kind of shifted over to the bottom right hand side of the screen as well. That was probably a phantasm because that's 2 units, I think.
Yeah, so I believe Baharoth's on the list, which seems odd. I hear he's quite good, so I don't know how he ended up in what's meant to be a bad list. But I definitely saw Colin's Baharoth model in the last stream, so we'll see how that works.
Yeah. Flappy Bird is pretty good at 40k. Is I think the word on the street, although maybe not so much anymore now that he's gone up by a few points.
It'll help him be easier to the last target, right? That's how that works.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. Oh no.
Oh wait. Yeah.
Didn't you hear? R.I.P. to the last baby.
So just to harass the machine spirit a bit more, it could be cool to have a check on the other stream if that's going, and then we can try see what's going on there. I think there's a chance it's John Lennon versus. There we go.
Yeah, our message got to them, by the way. I saw the Rangers being moved.
It is big boy time over here. We have a Knights mirror. So John with Imperial Knights, Steve, is that Steve Trimble with some Chaos Knights?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, so we've got, I could go get some books and read these secondaries, but we have Bring It Down on both sides. What a shocking decision. They are both taking, so this is with the new rules because they have sadness levels of CP, and they each have taken 2 secondaries from their book. So
we have Yield to Ground, which is kind of the Knights version of it. Sorry, I really should be saying the Imperial Knights version of a Stranglehold.
You should.
And I think it's also things like not moving back towards your board edge and other shenanigan-y type things like that. Honor the House is an action you do in the middle of the board, isn't it?
No, renew oaths is the action one, I believe.
Right.
I will be able to check. I am wandering around trying to find my Chaos and Imperial Knight books. I will have this for us.
Sam, this is not Titanicus. In that case, Honor the House should be if you gain honor points.
That sounds good. I think it's the same category as Grind Them Down, and Formally to the Last, where if you have a certain number of honor points and or finish with more honor points than you started the turn with, something to that effect, you gain some points, and there are some other riders which I will read the specifics of. The Chaos Knights have Storm of Darkness, which is it's an action secondary. They start in I see. Yeah. So John was saying just before when he and Colin were talking that he thinks the best Imperial Knight is six small knights, 2 big knights, and everything has guns. It's a bit of a gun line, but it moves forward slowly, backed up by the secondary that tells you to move forward slowly.
Yep.
Yeah. So Battlefield Supremacy, Ruthless Tyranny for Chaos Knights is if you score 2 points if you control half or more of the total number of objective markers, so slightly easier than Stranglehold, with Chaos Knights models. So if you're summoning, it's a bit harder. Another 1 point if half or more of the objective markers are within dread range, which is be within 12 of any Chaos Knight model. Pretty doable. So it's pretty much easier Stranglehold. And then you can get another point, so up to potentially 4 a turn, if every objective marker is within dread range or within 12 of a Chaos Knight model. So it is better Stranglehold, which you didn't take in the old rule pack because you would want something else and you'd take Stranglehold. But now you would just take it, and it's great. And
it's pretty like Knights. I think both types of Knights, Chaos and Imperial, have made off like bandits with the secondary changes.
Yeah, big time. Because Storm of Darkness is a pretty solid secondary for Chaos Knights. It's you perform an action on an objective in your morale phase, so you can act for a turn, and if you clear the objective by punching someone off it, you can even do it. You might be able to even Terror Shades, which is a stratagem to do some mortal wounds them off of it, and so then you start doing it at the end of your turn, and you don't get to move the next turn, but can then try and make a charge if someone comes close by.
Yeah.
And the Imperial Knights have a nice action one as well, but they don't need that with Bring It Down being such a good anti-knight secondary.
Yes, and they may not necessarily want to go and stand in the middle of the board against all of these Chaos Knights. That might bring some pain.
Yeah, for sure. So their Yield No Ground secondary is you get 2 points if you control half or more of the objective markers. Okay. So much the same as the Chaos Knights one. Score 2 points if no enemy units are wholly within your deployment zone, and score 1 as long as no Imperial Knight has ended the turn closer to your battlefield edge than they started the turn, and that no Imperial Knights units fell back during the turn. So you might not always get the full back rider because knights can fall back and do things, and you might want to do that. You also can't score this in the first battle round, but you can still get 4 turns of 4 points without too much difficulty and score a 15.
Now, Alex, it looks like did the Imperial Knights just lose a bunch of armigers there, or are they still in play and just off to the side of the camera?
I can't tell you. I'm sorry. I have been reading secondaries because I have books. I'm going to put them to use.
I think they're still in play because John's pointing at them. But we do have some secondary scores from the first round, so it might be there. I'm assuming there are going to be some returning points going in there and some bringing down points. So I reckoned some armigers are dead, but maybe not all of them for the
the bring it down points might be able to tell us. So we're on to round 2 already. Knights play quick. So Storm of Darkness, Ruthless Tyranny. Okay, so they I don't think all of the objectives will be within 12 of all the models, but maybe. Storm of Darkness kind of completed it. I think two Baby Knights will have died on the Imperium side.
Yes, I think we're seeing some Helverin shooting right now because of this 4 dice being rolled 3 times. Yeah, so I think those 3 Helverins down in the bottom of the bottom left of the screen are still in play and are shooting their autocannons.
Which I think Helverins, they shoot 43 shots, but Helverins want to shoot. They do not want to get punched by Chaos Knights.
Anything really.
That is quite bad for their health. Yeah, but a Chaos Knight especially will be quite bad for their health, and that might be a Rampager up the middle of the table. And if they were sitting near that ruin where they were initially, that's sort of you might go and get crumped by Rampager distance.
I'm not seeing very many saves being passed here by the Chaos Knights. So hopefully John can push them back, but I think, as Sam says in the chat, maybe John got unga-bungaed here a little bit.
Could be. I think we should be careful to check back with this quite regularly if we go back to the other stream, because a lot of stuff will go away very, very quickly.
Yes. Should we? Speaking of that, should we just do a little quick check-in on the other stream, see how the first moon phases have gone? Because that should have happened by now.
Yep. If the stream machine spirit can make
that happen. There we go. Orcs. There are orcs in the table. That is terrifying.
They have. Things. Yep. They've all moved forward. Possibly not quite as far as I might have thought they'd. I expected them potentially to move, but so they've got something in the middle.
I think they may be playing around some charge ranges here from the Wraith Blades. Just why risk it, right? Why
that makes sense. And because Wraith Blades
move 5 or something like that.
Yeah, so if they move 5, you do the magical 17 away move. Or I think Orcs are shooting because a bunch of Wraith Blades have just been picked up.
Oh wow! Yeah,
that was.
You're certainly not scared of that unit anymore. Wraith Blades do move 5. So so if you just have 17 inches away, then just do that.
Yeah. And then so if the Knights move, sorry, not the Knights. The Knights was the other stream. This is the Orc Knights, the Orcanauts. I don't know how fast they move. I'm sure it'll be reasonably paced. And then with ramming speed, charge access, they can, if they're within 12, there's like a pretty alright charge. Well, that's a boxcar. There's a pretty reasonable chance they can make a 12-inch charge with 3d6, drop none, and here we go to try again. When
the Orcs want to get a charge in, they will get a charge in.
Yeah, well, and then at least the Orc Mega Dread, I believe, rolls an extra die and drops one. So if that thing uses ramming speed, you're rolling 4 dice to make your charge, taking one of them away.
That seems pretty. That seems crazy.
Yeah, that man gets in there.
Double one there.
Snake Eyes. I'm not sure what's being rolled, but we've had boxcars into Snake Eyes back to back. I think.
This is shooting phases.
I think so. There are a number of dice being picked up to do.
There's probably a lot of shots in this Orc army. Knowing Orcs, every gun is probably doing 10+ shots or something stupid like that.
Yeah, the Gatling cannon arms for those Mega Dreads have copious quantities of shots, 20 or 30. It might genuinely be both with how DACA works.
Good saves from the auto there, though.
Yeah, I just realized as well. I assume Hank is able to lightning fast reflex at least some things, or lightning fast reaction. So that means 3 games in a row, Sean will have played against armies with at least some level of -1 to hit access with his Orc shooting, because he started off with Alpha Legion, which are -1 to be hit from 12 inches away, and then faced Bugs with a Melanthrope. That's the one. And now potentially lightning fast from the Eldar. So
yes, because the Eldari lightning fast can go on to any Asuryani, Harlequins, or Unari unit. So pretty much anything in the Codex.
So they can put it on the chonky lads, but it's the Dark Eldar with the Covens that can't do it.
We have some model count updates for the Knights. So we quickly switch back to that. Given how fast
that is
Knights can go.
That is brutal. Yeah, so apparently the Chaos Knights top of one took 24, at least 48 wounds worth of damage in the form of the Abominant dying, but then standing up again because it'll have
and is now gone.
Yep, and is gone again.
That guy's not having a good day.
Yeah, John is just like, I'll do it again, and does the 3 wounds again off the Abominant. Yeah, so...
And then John, in return, lost 2 of the armigers.
Yep.
So, so it looks like that little group of 3 armigers off to the side, some of them, if not all of them, should be alive. Yeah, looks
and
like...
then that is the other big knight is down. Yeah. So I think some some real difficult analysis here. I think the go first roll might have been the big one in this matchup because
it's a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, when the lethality of knights goes up, and you also don't have as much in the way of command points starting off early because it'll be 2. You want to spend a couple of CP per big knight to give them toys to play with, and it costs 2 CP to rotate on a big lad. And so then you can't necessarily afford a CP to try and re-roll against, say, a D6 plus 2 or potentially D6 plus 4 damage thermal cannon. Things can die.
So check this out, though. So, you know how we're saying Alpha Strikes are dead, we're not going to have any of them, the CP just doesn't allow it. You're thinking of the Knights 3 CP to mortal wounds thing. Apparently, John just did 21 mortals and other damage, because, we need other damage on top of 21 mortals to the last Chaos Big Knight, which is insane.
Yeah.
And that's probably using the ability to make it free once per game onto a knight, and you combo that with the warlord trait for 6s to hit, 6s to wound, doing mortal wounding on top of everything else.
Yeah.
So you basically just fire your razor and do 21 mortal wounds.
Yeah,
which is ridiculous.
Does look like he has a Crusader and a Paladin. So Crusader being the double guy. It might be, or it might actually be that he has a I can't quite tell, and it could of course be borrowed models that are not quite. They're using different weapon arms. It actually looks like it's a Melter chainsword, which is the Knight Errant, and a Paladin, which is Battle Cannon chainsword.
Yes, there could be a case of borrowed models going on here. So I've seen it's the rapid fire battle cannon and the Gatling gun for the knights is normally what the mortal wound warlord trait goes on to in from like the circles I play in.
Yeah, for sure.
But it looks like the Chaos Knights, despite losing their big knights, have just said screw it. Here's 2 more war dogs to chew through, and I think the Imperial Knights are okay with that.
Well, if that carnivore makes a charge into the big knight there and it doesn't have invul, that one little knight has pretty good odds to just punt the big knight into the sun and one hit combo them.
Yeah, but it has to be what looks to be a pretty lengthy charge, maybe a 7 or an 8.
No, I believe he's got this. He's got this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does the chat believe that the little war dog that can take down this Imperial Big Knight? I see 2 CV being spent in there, so that's probably a rotate or something going on for the Imperial Knights.
Yeah, looks like those are a couple of brigands sitting on the home objectives, and there are windows in those ruins, it look like, so they're probably sitting behind the obscuring, shooting the big 24 wound Imperial Knights. So actually, the Chaos Knights might be scoring still not terrible points until something can go cut an angle and get to the backfield shooting guys. But yeah, it's not going to be pretty, I don't think.
Yeah, it looks like the Chaos Knights were measuring some half ranges there for the Melter gun.
Right. Yeah.
If that was invulnerable saves being rolled there by John, that was terrible because I saw 4 3s there.
Yeah, knight saving with 4 up involves don't like rolling 4 3s.
Yeah.
Are we able to hop back to the other stream Mr.
Yes.
Tech Priest Stream Man.
Tech Priest Stream Man is fast.
Yeah.
Love it. So we got some Wraith Blades out front, some more Wraith Blades out front, and the Rangers are sitting cowering behind the Wraith Blades.
Those Wraith Blades do look like they might just about be able to make a charge into the Morkanaut in the middle. There's a chance that to touch that objective that would have been unavoidable if they deployed far enough forward. So look, if they can make the charge, I hope they make the charge because I'm all about that.
I'm not sure how advisable making that charge roll is though.
I think it's advisable because right, but consider this, Chris. Their options are make the charge, hit something, and then die, or not make the charge, get shot, and or hit and die. So, I think they would prefer the option where they get to hit a thing. You know?
Yeah.
That's my question.
Hang on.
Oh no, they're going with option 2 of get charged and get hit. I think is what's happening here.
But it's round 1 Hank's turn. I am very confused.
There's a chance the stream's not updated there. Given that,
so maybe this is we're now in the Orc's turn.
Yeah, I think
maybe
the Orcs are charging.
Maybe the failed to charge.
Yeah. That might be some different option. Oh no, that was a Kareen. That was an exploding. Yeah, okay, that'll be an exploding Morkanaut, Gorkanaut, one of the two. It's an Orkanaut that I think would have exploded and then careened forward. So that was rolling to do some mortal wounds to Rangers and Wraithblades and probably a Kara. I hope a Phoenix Lord just got his 3 wounds taken from that. That would make me very happy.
Yep, it looks like actually maybe the Rangers that killed it because the Rangers did a move backwards.
Yeah,
and if so, that is like MVP right there. Those Rangers killing a Morkanaut.
Yeah, and then having it run at you on death and explode right next to you. I hope they fail the morale check. That would be. I believe they'll fail their morale check, and then the last guy will run. Because after fire and fading away, just because it's too intimidating.
Yeah, and they can fire fade as many times as they want because they're not using the new rule set.
Yeah, that's
so only fire fade your heart out.
Only half of the streams that we're commentating simultaneously have new
not
rules.
Doing our head in at all. The 2.5 inch house that we are sharing.
And speaking of, we've hopped between the two streams a whole bunch, but we haven't chilled recently. If you're just joining us, what we're currently watching is this is the final game of the worst RTT. So 8 great players at Charity Hammer have written bad lists with a theme, and then they've been reassigned to those players, and the players have been told, right, now go win with these bad lists. And so this is the finals of that, where there is orcs with a bunch of. It's all the walkers between Stomper and Killican in size, so not including those two. And it's against an Eldar list with 15 Wraithblades and I think some Dark Reapers because they're considered bad, and some Phoenix Lords.
Yep. I think we have Jane's Arm, Morgan Ra, Baharoth.
A memo has been missed with Baharoth being put in a bad RTT list because
Kadras I think is the last one.
Right.
Yeah, Scorpion did.
But it does seem fitting because Sean wrote this Eldar list that he now needs to play into. But
yeah. He has made his bed, and now he must lay in it.
Yeah, and so
cushioned by orcs.
And so the orc list has Gorkanauts, Morkanaut, maybe the other order because there was 2 of one of the other. There was a Mech Dread, a Mega Dread. So what might look like a Forge Fiend is actually the Mech Dread, and what might look like a Mauler Fiend is the Mega Dread. Somewhere there were some Grot tanks or Grot something or others. There is Big Mech Buzzgob leading his pack somewhere, not calling War because he doesn't have the vocal cords. And I think there's some Death Dread somewhere as well, although they may have perished to Eldar shooting.
It looks like Baharroth is doing Baharroth things. He just charged and now he's eating himself across him up into somewhere where he can't get shot at.
Yeah.
But he's only got 2 wounds left. One of the two.
I believe, one, that these players are not savages and show remaining wounds, not wounds taken. And 2, I believe in that Mega Dread moseying on over and making its 4 dice drop 1 ramming speed charge and pasting Flappy Bee with mortal wounds on the charge. Yeah, that's what I'm about.
Yeah, you have to remember this is the worst RTTs, therefore they must do the worst behaviors as well. So that's like so Barros is like got 2 wounds taken, you go up to 3, then go back down as well, just to confuse everyone.
Yeah. Should we flip over to the night stream because things might be tabled real quick.
Yes. Meanwhile, we have a raging debate happening in chat over on the YouTubes. What's worse, Mitch's admit list or that orc list? I do not know what Mitch's admit list is, so if Mark Murphy can enlighten me, that'd be fantastic. It looks like the Armiger War Dog made the charge into the Chaos Knight, into the Imperial Knights, and the Imperial Knight just walked away. And that Wargrave is not dead.
Yeah, well, if he charges I assume that probably is an errant then. It probably has the weapons shown if it bopped the carnivore, because otherwise it's pretty unlikely to
shooting phase, because this is John's turn 3 where that knight got taken off the war dog.
Oh, okay, that would do it too.
Maybe that guy's running there's a 4++ invuln relic or warlord trait.
Yeah, it's a warlord trait. No, the 4-up in melee is a relic for Imperial Knights. I can't remember the way to get it for Chaos Knights. I know for Chaos Knights is a relic to give a 4-up to shooting and a 6-up in melee. Yeah, and there is a Tzeentch favor that if you get, you can get a 4-up invul always.
Yeah. Mark Murphy was saying not Admech, Ashmore Charm. Yes, that Ashmore Charm list was beautiful as he describes it in chat. 30 Ratlings, 24 Ogrins, Gaunt's Ghost, Sentinels, and Hunters. Oh, and all the weird Verncyclers in North America.
Yeah.
It was beautiful and did nothing.
Yeah. I find it really funny as well that there were some really great subtle things in some of these lists. Like the Alpha Legion list had one character that had the I am Alpharius Warlord trait, which means if they die, they get to pass on the Warlord for rules purposes to another character. So it is useless when you are the only character.
It looks like the Knights game may have come to a conclusion after being down to 2 War Dogs versus 2 Big Knights.
Yeah.
We may get a re-rack, I think, but we'll get that confirmed.
That seems pretty reasonable that might happen.
Yes, it looks like they're going to be resetting up. So while they do that, why don't we go back to the other game and maybe they'll let the Chaos Knights shoot first this time.
Oh, so apparently it wasn't Rangers. I believe it was Fire Dragons that shot the Orc Knight in the middle. So that makes sense that they managed to kill it. But then, they were showing that the error in their ways when it exploded, careened as we covered, and went kaboom.
Yeah,
pasting 3 of the Fire Dragons.
They just put too much fire into the Orc vehicle, and it's really their own fault.
Like Fire Dragons firing at a Orc Knight and then fire and fading, it's too much fire. They had to die in a fire explosion. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. It's like, hey, I heard you like fires. Here's your fire, where's your fire, where's your fire?
Yeah, and so Table 2 is currently re-racking. Chaos Knights will be going first this time, which makes sense. And so in that case, my money is on the Chaos Knights to win, because that just seems to be on brand. Although, actually, if they are going a more punchy variety of knight, it could be that Imperials could pull it out. playing on Dawn of War might make it tough because they have limited space to run away and shoot before needing to put the hurt on.
I think the Imperial Knights are going to take it. Imperial Knights can be extremely tanky when they want to be. Certainly if they've picked the tankier Warlord traits from Relics. Yeah.
For sure the armigers can be, but I'm not sure how tanky you can really get the big lads. I'm not sure what household John is running his Imperial Knights as. If they're Tyrannus, they get a if they're Tyrannus, they will get a Field Knife Bane. But anyway, let's get back on topic with the worst RTT final, because yeah, and I can't see any players, but we have a whole bunch of I think there was some teleporting Death Dreads, because a Death Dread has just been put down in the Eldar deployment zone. So I think that means it is Ramen speed time soon at some point.
Yeah, if those Death Dreads if they get into that little lovely nest that the Eldar have made for them, that's going to hurt a lot.
Yeah, no, I'm enjoying watching these games because when I don't have much of a personal interest in any one specific doing well. I just want to see violence happen. I want the long charges. I'm all about things exploding. Yeah.
Well, do you know what's great for hitting 9-inch charges?
Ramming speed, and here we go.
Yeah, it's getting more dice and free rerolls.
For sure.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
Yeah. So I assume these are just going down as in quotes markers, because I think the rest of the orcs haven't moved.
Yes, it looks like they were just measuring out the 9 inches. That's what all those teal dice are representing, and they're going to quote unquote pre-place them. What I have to do is I have to put them down and then knock them over, so they're all inside, so they're not technically set up, and then I can get on with the rest of the movement phase, because it's not set up until they're properly on their bases.
Yeah, for sure.
A little half pro tip. But yeah, so what the Orcs going to do here? They've lost their big centerpiece. They've lost the pressure in the middle, and it looks like they got a Phoenix Lord over on the left hand side of the screen, being annoying and obsec, which will take at least a shooting phase and a fight phase to get rid of them. I think that's Karandus looking at the shadow, the Scorpion Phoenix Lord.
Whereabouts? Sorry.
Over on the left-hand side of the table, next to the other orc big thing, in front of the Forge Fiend. There's like one
on the left of the objective. Would it be Caradris, or would it be? Is it Morgan Ra, the Dark Reaper guy?
I think that's Karandris, because he's quite fast. I think
that's
Morgan Ra is probably standing in the middle of that castle, about to get bonked by Death Dreads.
I mean, look, that would make sense if you have guns to and he has a gun, is to sit back and shoot people with it, while the striking Scorpion who hits people should go up and strike in close combat. That might or might not work for him, because he might get shot and charged and punched. But best of luck to him.
Yep.
Yep.
Whilst we're waiting for the Orcs to finish the movement phase, should we talk about the charity that we're raising money for?
Yeah, for sure. Do you want to do the thing this time?
I would attempt to do the thing. So we're raising money for a charity called Child's Play. That's a worldwide international effort to kind of put toys, game consoles, games into children's hospitals and domestic abuse shelters, to basically make kids have an easier time whilst you're going through some of the most horrible treatments and times of their lives. And because when they're happy, they recover faster, and it's all good things. And I certainly wouldn't like to go through anything without anything like that, with some entertainment to kind of bring me out of my own head. There's a link just been put into the chat there to go and donate. Every $30 you donate will get you a raffle ticket, and we have some big prizes. We have a $1,200 voucher to Hammerhead Games. You can buy all sorts of hobby supplies and hobby games from them, Legion, 40K, Marvel, Capcom, Crisis Protocol, whatever it's called. And also, the Sean Nades can paint you an army. You can ship him, I don't know, 699 grots, and maybe he'll say yes to that. You have to do some very good precision, but more likely a regular size 2,000 point army he will paint for you.
He has stated that he'll discuss with the winner of what is a reasonable army to get painted.
Yeah. Don't take the mick, basically. Yeah, if you send him 700 grots, I cannot guarantee how many will be safely returned. But yes, it's all for a good cause, and donate what you can. And if you can't donate, like the streams, share the streams, tell your friends, signal boost in any way you can. Is all greatly valued and appreciated by the Charity Hammer team.
So I think this is probably talking about the Death Dreads making the charge from Deep Strike, but Sam Lemon says that he hears donating $30 or more to charity guarantees your next 9-inch charge.
Oh.
I don't know if I would take that for sure, but you could try it out. Yep.
It would give you some good karma. Just saying.
And
300 conscripts.
Yeah, just to stir the pot. Mark Murphy is saying, 300 conscripts. I don't think Sean would be about painting that either.
Again, it's up to you, master negotiators, to go and negotiate.
Yeah, just donate a whole bunch of Child's Play. It'll up your chances of winning, and then you too can try and upset prominent pointy air player Sean Naden with your
There is actually
request.
One more prize that we haven't mentioned.
Yeah, is it the objective markers?
Yeah, it's for the top donor. We're not going to tell you who that is. Apart from there's a guy called Dave currently. We don't know anything more than that. We don't know the amount. But if you want to get these beautiful objective markers made by 3D6 Wargaming, I want to say is the company.
Yeah, yep. They're always been a sponsor of Charity Hammer, and you can buy the previous ones from their store still.
Yep, so you can buy these, but what's special about the top donor prize is that everyone who's at Charity Hammer will sign these markers for you, making it one of a kind, making it unique, priceless. I mean, the big celebrities are here. So be that top donor, get an awesome set of markers, and be the envy of all your friends.
And provide board games and video games and such to sick kids in hospitals, and or help Child's Play make domestic abuse shelters, or run them, or support them in some way. Yeah.
I can't remember who was saying it, but one of the best things that Child's Play do is that when they found out that the staff in the hospitals were getting kind of overwhelmed by trying to set up all these games that they were sending them, they started putting full-time staff that they paid for into hospitals to set up the games and do the tech support side of things, which is such a great way to help support them further than just shipping them a bunch of board games and consoles every now and then, which is beautiful.
Also, wouldn't that be like such a cool job? Your job is to go around and help set up video games for kids at hospitals, and just you'd see all the people appreciating it.
I can't think of many more heartwarming jobs than that.
Yeah. Maybe Labrador breeder or something.
Just Labrador, anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Having a lab who's, by the way, my dog is currently lying and snoring on top of my feet, making them far too warm, but I can't move. That is the law. I'm not allowed to move. I must suffer.
Yeah, them's the rules. If a pet falls asleep on you, you are stuck. Unfortunate.
Absolutely. So it looks like the orcs are going to just kind of abandon home base a little bit, which is kind of terrifying, given that Flappy Bird is just in the top right corner.
Yeah, I'm trying to work out
taking objectives.
I thought that might have been Big Mick Buzzgob sitting on there, but I believe it's actually just the upside down cross-dressing John Lennon with his sister of battle, Flamer. Burning Jaime cowering behind a shelf in reference to events of last year's Charity Hammer.
What are those events? Because I actually didn't watch that last year's Charity Hammer because I'm new to this entire circle of people.
Okay, so the objective markers in this there's John Lennon, who is shown as a Sister of Battle, because he took sisters to the hardest RTT ever, hardest tournament ever, whatever the name is that I should know but don't, for the Charity Hammer main tournament. And he won in the finals against Jaime Paris, I believe, his Space Wolves. So he sort of came in relatively unknown and kicked name all the way through the bracket with Space Wolves, when nobody really thought that much of them at the time. And I believe it was no, I don't. It might not have been pure Space Wolves, but anyway, that happened. That's why there are those two on the objective marker. And Colin's shelf went missing. Just a shelf from his house disappeared. No one knows who took it, but that is
What?
why. Yeah, a shelf. It went away from in a cupboard
Dear.
in a somewhere. Yeah. Um, it is an ongoing joke in the Best in Tabletop Discord, the best
Lovely.
Discord in 40k, where you can
Yeah.
end up commentating for Charity Hammer.
Yeah, like I've been in here for like just over a year or something like that, and here I am. Yeah, and also you can join that Discord by joining the Patreon as well.
Yeah.
Whatever that link is.
I think this might be an orc shooting phase now, because I just saw a 6 for the number of shots and then nothing totaling higher than a 4 to hit.
Well, if
And
it's a
yeah,
gunner, then
yeah,
maybe.
but it was 2s and 3s. It orcs don't hit on that, I don't believe. So I think that was some sad shooting. Yeah, so
is there. Yeah, so
I believe we're in
so
the orc
so the
shooting
big
phase now.
stompy gets so the big stompy gets moved up and now opened up their attacker guns.
Yeah,
of various varieties.
I am a little bit disappointed though. The Mega Dread has moved away from Flappy B, is not going over to charge and ramming speed and punch him, which I'm a little bit sad about. But I mean, that might also be good for his health, because it means moving away from that unit of Wraithblades sitting behind the lava ruin, ready to go hit anything on that objective.
Yeah, those Wraithblades are definitely protecting some threat, but I think they're probably going to be running backwards very quickly to deal with these teleporty death dreads.
Oh yeah, there are awfully some death dreads just right behind them there, aren't they? I missed that off screen.
Yeah, so is that 3 of them down there?
Yeah, I don't quite know how death dreads, if they act as a unit or not, or maybe there might actually be some killer cans there. The list, I believe, was meant to have like a grot mega tank. It may have been swapped out for killer cans due to some players needing to drop at the last minute, and those players needing to be providing the models.
I am going to double check death dreads now. So you crack on. Let's get some information.
Yeah. So yeah. Oh, I've just realised why Baharoth would be up in that corner there as well, is because Hank has taken behind enemy lines. So if you read the secondaries, it might help you work out what's going on.
Yes.
And so he'll be sitting there.
So death dreads.
Yeah.
They set up as a unit, but as soon as they're deployed for the first time, which is now, they are now individuals. So he has 3 chances to hit those charges.
Okay, so that's both good and bad, because it means you have more chances, but it doesn't. It means you can't ramming speed an entire unit of them, which I was excited for that.
But you get to do one of them.
Oh yeah, at some point in the chat, Sam also covers us and says that don't forget the hot sauce, which I think the Flamer is representing the hot sauce challenge of last Charity Hammer, where there was many grown-ass adults. I think some reduced to tears, trying to competitively eat hot sauces.
I tell you one person I want to see do that.
Oh, I can I have one guess?
You can have one guess.
Is it maybe NSA Wilson?
I think it might
Twitter
be.
fame. Yeah.
Yes, I think NSA Wilson in any eating challenge would be hilarious. I don't know why, but so we were out for we were trying to get dinner in Newcastle, and I took him to this chain Caribbean Jamaican restaurant, and he struggled. He struggled with all like the jerk spices and everything. It was hilarious. So, is there anything? Are there any casualties we've been noticing for the Eldar here, or has it just been a bunch of orcs shooting doing nothing? Oh, there's some Dark Reapers going, but it's a bit.
Yep. Yeah. There's some Dark Reapers. There might be 2 fire dragons shooting, but no more than that after that Korean explosion. Yeah.
I mean, those 2 fire dragons can still do lots of damage.
Yeah. So yeah, we have a bucket of dice. I'm picking this is probably one of the big Gatling arm cannons from one of the remaining Lord of War, Orc Knights, Stomper, Orc lads. Yep.
I think we're down to 2 Dark Reapers now, as well. Oh, and there goes the fire dragons.
Right. Oh, so maybe this is probably the shooting from the Death Dreads that have just appeared, teleported into the back line. Would make sense. While Orc shooting is going on, because it should hopefully only pick up a handful of models, but require a bucket of dice, do we want to really quickly see what's going on in the night game? Just pop over, see what's been tabled, and then we should duck back to these finals. Oh boy! So it apparently is John's round 1, but I think the stream's just not been updated there because Chaos Knights they are up in there. There are many dead-looking Imperial Knights and so many Chaos Knights all over the midboard. I think this was a go first story.
It looks like John may have deployed his big knights slightly further back, so maybe he's got 1 or 2 big knights left alive. But so there you go, knights versus knights. It comes down to a first turn roll off.
Yeah, or at least it definitely can be with like the new books coming out and upping the damage, but not necessarily the durability. Anyway, should we might hop back to see if orcs are trying to make some charges because that knight's fight looks a bit go first decisive, really.
It's a big sad.
Yeah. I see 2 dice. Is that a charge? No, that's more than 2 dice.
More than 2 dice being rolled.
It's still orc guns. The casino cannons are going hard.
Yeah, they're starting taka as hard as they can.
Yep. They are like really believing they're going to be hitting.
Yeah. So, chat, how many death threats do you think are going to make it into combat in the charge phase? Let's get some predictions going.
Yeah.
I'm going to say 2. I'm optimistically saying 2. How about you? Alex.
We got to. Oh, how about me? Oh man, I was replying to chat for something else. I am not good at my job some of the time. How many are going to make it in? I can't quite even tell how many are down there. It looks like there's 4 things down there. So let's go with 3.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going with 3 anyway because I want it to happen.
Yeah, you want to see you're after the violence.
I just like I don't know how many people. I don't know who doesn't like seeing a 9-inch deep strike charge when it's not a game they're playing. Just everyone gets excited for that, right? Like, yeah. So we have like big charges, explosions. Those are like some of the things. Just I think every 40k player enjoys to see.
So Richard Kilton at YouTube is saying 2 charges being made, same as myself, and as over on Twitch, Mr. KR Quinn points out, just remember in this game it's bad lists played by good players and written by good players. So very interesting dynamic.
Yeah. And in case of the Eldar list, Sean is so good at writing good lists that he was told he had to redo his bad list.
Mm-hmm.
Which seems moderately interesting, given that Sean has to some extent a history of performing really well with what others don't understand in terms of Eldari lists. In fact, sometimes just deliberately including models that are uncommon.
Yeah.
I believe.
It looks like the Wraith Blades up at the front of the Eldari forces, the black card ones, were taking an absolute beating from the shrinking phase, and now there's only 1 model left with 2 wounds remaining.
Yeah.
So that poor Wraithblade is trying his best to stay on.
Yeah, and I think they may have also been what is it called? Fortuned. I think they were rolling Feel No Pains. It seemed like.
Is there a Psyker?
I am not confident. No, they probably weren't, because there probably isn't a Psyker. They were probably just they might have been 2 damage shots rolling 2 saves at a time, and some of which were in cover. That would also make sense. Yeah.
Yes, because they look like they have double swords rather than the shield, so they don't have the avoidable.
Yeah, that's right. The darker coloured, like the bluey coloured Wraithblades have double swords, and the bone coloured ones have axes and shields.
Yep.
Yep.
Haunted Bagel just finished painting their 3rd Armiger of the day. Congratulations, that's a lot of painting. 3 Armigers is a lot. Are you moving on to your 4th, or are you going to take a break? Haunted Bagel. Oh, is there a pause in the junior phase here? Are we going to the charges? Maybe. Oh no, they're teasing us, Alex. No charges. That's an 11.
Charges. That's an 11. Is that? Oh, it's 2d6 shots.
They're teasers.
When you don't know Orc guns, seeing just dice being there's 3 dice. Surely no. We don't know. I believe some of the there might be streams available with player mics. There at least were meant to be, but many things have gone sideways organizationally. Oh, tomorrow? Okay.
Yeah.
But for now, stream. Sorry, we are looking at the video without audio. So
yeah. An update from the tech priests from the Knights table. The Chaos Knights are coming in for the killing blow. Looks like the Imperial Knights are going to be put out of their torment and suffering.
That is a lot of ones just rolled right now. That was, I think that was a big whiff from a chain cannon. Or I wonder if it was the Rampager in melee. That would be kind of funny if that was just a there are some low rolls being made by some of these whatever they are attacks.
That's another lots of 1s and 2s. Jeez.
It's painful to watch.
I think the Chaos Knights could fail just for every single hit roll.
I think that was Chaos Knight shooting. I think, because there was like what looked like 12 dice for the chain cannons. There's 2 dice which would be melter. There were sets of 4 which would be stubbers.
Yeah,
that's what I'm going to confidently say was happening.
Charges going on.
Yeah.
Oh, and that's 2 failed invuns.
That would be 2 failed armor saves, so it doesn't matter what they're rolling. That was 1s and 2s.
That is.
And here is some damage.
That's 7 damage. Yep. I don't think that melters in half range.
Right, and we're rolling some Feel No Pains, and so the 6 is being left. So yeah, I think John is running House Tyrannus. So all of his knights will have, his little knights will have 13 wounds, his big knights will have 26, and all of them will have a 6-up Feel No Pain. So yep.
Yeah.
There is some real big boy damage going on.
I think that's I think House Tyrannus is almost like the standard or required house to go in tournament play.
Yeah, I believe
just gives you that little bit of durability.
Yeah, and it also gives you Zombie Knight chance. So on a 4-up, you can stand a Knight up again, which Chaos Knights have access to on ones marked with Chaos Undivided.
Yeah, one of my friends was saying it's just crazy how many times he has an Armiger running around on like 2 wounds that just wouldn't exist otherwise.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to have very few Imperial forces left on the board after this turn. Yeah. Shall we head back to the Orcs game, see if there's any charges going on?
That seems fun. I'm just having a look at chat. It looks like there's some charges. We've got 1 Death Dread has made a charge. We have a Morkanaut.
2 of them.
2 of them? 2 of them. All right.
Look at the bottom.
Yep. And I think there were 4 things down there, because look, there still appears to be 2 Orc models down the bottom.
Yes. So Everyone who's said 2 is amazing and is great at predicting numbers.
You guys sure randomly generated a number between 1 and 4. Real good. Oh, that's a snake eye charge. Okay, but here we go. Maybe get something to move?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we are getting some discords possibly from a stream host. I don't know if we meant to be reading this out, but
I have no idea.
Yeah.
We are prepared.
Yeah, at some point Adam is meant to be coming back from recording the Thursday show on a Friday for him. And we'll relieve Chris of his duties so he can go sleep to... Are you running an event tomorrow, or are you waking up to commentate tomorrow?
I am working tomorrow.
Oh, that is just unfortunate.
Yeah, I've got a day of office life ahead of me.
Because it's Friday morning for you, isn't it?
Yeah, starting
in the AM.
Yeah.
Fun.
Yeah, I have made wise choices, and I did not regret a second of it because I get to chat to you and the audience, and it's to support a great cause. And I'm just going to drink lots of coffee.
Yeah. So, judging by the size of the pile of dice Sean is brandishing there, I think this is the Morkanaut or possibly Gorkanaut, because I do not know which is which. Yeah. Hitting something that it is just too large to for us to be able to see.
Yes, it looks like it's hitting a. I'm going to say probably Karandus, the Scorpion Phoenix Lord, who is currently on 3 wounds. So Karandus may die here.
I think actually there is something. There might be something below between the Orc. Oh no, I am just wrong. It is Karandus. Oh, I was seeing force field that was actually attached to the Orkanaut. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're being asked if we're up for a quick Custodes Tower update, which I think we are maybe meant to read out. Hopefully we'll hear back. So we might be able to update you.
We're seeing it.
Oh, there is Custodes and Tower. So I believe this is Noah Badome playing Tower and Mitchell playing Custodes. So round 1, Custodes got into position and stripped the unit. They got their Auric Mortalis unit, killed all the shield drones and 2 Crisis. So Auric Mortalis is a Custodes secondary, which is you don't get to play with your biggest toy. And it got updated to be slightly better in the new mission pack. So whatever their opponent's Supreme Commander or most expensive unit is, if you kill that, and you get 5 points. Do it in melee, another 5. Outside of your deployment zone, another 5. And so the Crisis unit that was the target for that has had its shield drones and 2 suits removed.
Yeah.
And then Tower have moved up and killed 5 Sagittarium Guardians. So that is the dudes running around with heavy bolters, but they're assault and have a 3 damage combi thing stuck underneath of it.
Do we know if the Tau have gone Kalyon or Monka? Because that would tell us a lot of what the Tau are thinking this game.
Based on his positioning, I would guess that Noah has gone Kalyon, because he likes to play KG, and he's not positioned in a way that would make sense for a Montcar play. Also, given it's Custodes, you probably don't want to get up in the groove space quite so much.
Yeah,
I would imagine.
Also, are these some like heavily these are some heavily converted Tal models with like beasts of like water variety, turtles and whatnot, and it looks awesome from what I can see. That is some amazing conversion work.
I think we'll be moving away from Noah's amazingly hobby Tau though, because the finals is basically getting wrapped up. I believe Sean is in fact better at playing than he is at list writing, and so is that right? All the Eldar tools to deal with Orc vehicles have gone poof, is what the table boss has told us.
It is a big sad.
Yeah. Poof seems a bit underwhelming, right? I'm sure it's a much more.
It is Eldar. They do kind of go poof, and then they go into the wee spirit stones.
I mean, yeah, sure. Let's go with that. I don't know how that works for the. I don't know how that works for the Wraithbone constructs, because those sort of are already.
They go crack.
Okay. Yeah. Snap, crackle, and pop.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah, it looks like the orcs just kind of ran at the Eldar and said, "You don't have enough melta." And then the 5 fire dragons said, "We sure do." And then they got, and then they went.
And then the orc explosion is like, that's some nice fire dragon damage you've got there. It would be a shame if something were to explode on it
and do d6 mortal wounds to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it turns out Eldar don't like getting hit by things in general.
Yeah. So I think one of the biggest takeaways of this worst RTT is that man, were people wrong, because this orc list was predicted to be the worst of the bad lists, but it is in fact the best of the bad lists, because the potential fear of bad lists won't be able to kill all of the wall of metal instead of wall of muscle.
They just cannot deal with the Death Dread dance crew, whatever you were calling it at the start.
Yeah, Death Dread dance party, Mad Mech, maybe. It is
the can some of that.
Yeah, the bad lists were not ready for big boy time.
In a meta full of nails, this Orcus was the hammer.
No, surely, in a meta full of wiffle balls or something like that, this list was the Nerf bat. I feel like I'm reaching this analogy. We need Adam, the experienced commentator, come back and bail us out.
Yeah. The TLDR is when you don't have anti-tank, tank good.
Like there's also maybe a chance that like prominent knife-eared player, pointy-eared player Sean Naden, maybe he played the games well, but I mean,
I'm sure that's probably something.
That's possibly a take. I don't think it's a very hot take.
It's a lukewarm take.
Yeah.
Good player is good.
Yeah. But congratulations to Sean for being the maybe he's the second worst at writing a bad list, given that his list was in the finals, but he is the best at piloting a bad list. Should we go with that?
Yes. Yep. And I think because wasn't he picked to be the worst list, so he kind of won. He just went, screw it, I'm going to win both.
No, apparently. No, I think the orc list that he's won with was chosen to be the worst list. So the orc list won we think this is the worst thing, and then won the competition, proving the judges were themselves also bad at judging what is bad.
It's all very fitting into the worst RTT, yes.
Yeah. Because has this been our opening main event going on since the launch of Charity Hammer? Because I was up for the data slate and briefly got some sleep, as you are going to need to before work.
Has been, yes, I've been watching nonstop since it launched, and this has been running. This is the opening event. This is the little teaser.
And Adam's back.
We have an Adam. Welcome, Adam.
He has been on the Thursday show since Friday.
Yes.
But has returned to commentate an empty table. Adam, can you make an empty table interesting to put you on the spot right now?
Welcome to this beautiful lava-themed table. You can see aesthetically placed terrain on beautiful mats, provided lovingly by the play on table, the best on. Sorry, damn, I cocked it up. The best in table.
It was going so well.
Yeah, tell me. I'm sorry. I'm very sleepy. How'd this wrap up, boys? I'm sorry to just catch the end of it. This must have been a very quick game.
Yeah, it was. So the orc mech, he didn't even deploy 10 models because he had some Death Dreads in the teleporters. And so there was a bit of cagey play. There were some sneaky rangers trying to like forward deploy in a mission where you can't do that. And then the orcs went up. The Eldar shot them a little bit, and then when the Wraithblades poked their head out, they got shot by orc shooting and punched by orc combat. And the Phoenix Lords died over time because orcs can in fact shoot a little bit, do some mortals on the charge.
Who would have thought?
Punch. Yeah, right. Yeah. I think possibly one of the bigger moments was the fire dragons popped out from their lava hiding spot behind on their home objective to shoot a Morkanaut, I think it was on the middle objective. They killed it, but it then explodes and decides to careen forward, killing 3 of the fire dragons, who then still fire and fade behind the terrain, and wounding some wraith blades, and I think probably hitting some characters.
Amazing! I love it so much. So, does that mean that the orc list was the best of the worst list?
Yes. So we've established that it was also judged to be the worst of the worst lists. So in fitting form, the judges were themselves bad at judging bad lists.
You love to see it.
I just want to point out that right now there's one very confused wraith base. So
yeah, there is.
Like, the hell happened? So
yeah, it's like where did they go?
I only have one question. I only have one question. Which was the worst of the worst list? Which scored the least amount of points in its one showing? I would love to know.
Maybe the tech priest can answer that.
Yeah, if we could find out.
Are we? Is our stream still going? Are we meant to be cutting over to the Tau Custodes matchup?
Yes, let's cut over to that. Also, Adam, whilst you're away, we found out that Knights, whoever goes first wins in the Chaos.
So Adam, you've in fact missed 3 entire games of 40k in your 1 hour of recording a show.
Holy crap.
Because we had 2 Knights matches and and it was a bit like an Orcs making a Knight list, really, isn't it? Because it's got 3 big lads and then a handful of smaller ones. So
amazing.
Knight games can be quick.
Yes, indeed. So what are we seeing now? What's this table?
So this is Noah Badome's wonderful. I can't believe it's Tower, because he's really embraced the fish people thing by having like turtles as there's a turtle devilfish, and I can't quite remember all of them. They might be hammerheads or all devilfish.
Mm-hmm.
There are his drones have like dino heads on them, so the shield drones are like blue, red, and green shells, like from like Mario Kart sort of stuff, or just the general theme. He has some heavily converted things that, if we have the technology at some point, taking some photos to put on stream to show them off would actually be really awesome, because Noah's put a whole bunch of work into this stuff. He also got them ready for his first event in a worryingly quick time.
We have a question from the YouTube chat. Seth Oster says, hopping back in, did Sean just body another list to death? I think that's a pretty accurate summary of that game.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Seth, I can happily say, turns out you're terrible. You're just the worst. You did not write a bad enough orc list. You're so bad you can't even manage to be bad.
Am I 400 gross next?
Am I correct in assuming that this list we're looking at right now, the Tau versus Custodes, Noah versus Mitchell, is playing using the new rules? Because I see 2 Tau secondaries.
It is, in fact, playing with the new rules.
Ooh, spicy times ahead, gentlemen. We're already into it. Literally, as soon as the second the RTT finished, bang, that was the death knell of that meta web. It's straight into a new one. That's exciting.
Oh, look, the RTT, we didn't even wait for it to finish, because this game, and we got 2 Knights games done before the RTT was finished, both with the new missions.
Were the Knights games Renegade versus Imperial or Renegade?
They were.
Imperial,
so we had both of them taking, bring it down, unsurprisingly, because it's just kill things and get points now that it's got Titan Hunter wrapped into it. They were both taking their better version of Stranglehold that they each have.
Yep.
The Imperial Knights took one that I didn't actually read out to the chat. Yeah, the one that they get points for basically maintaining honor points, and the Chaos Knights took their action one,
which has been FAQ to only work in their office, which is still like no bad thing, right?
Yeah. Look, disappointed but not surprised. But
who won, boys?
The Knights that went first.
Which was?
Well, they did 2 games. That's why you missed 3 games at it.
Oh, so they both got a win. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Fair.
So first up, the Imperial Knights went first, and they did the Crusader, I think it was, spiked 22 mortal wounds with the stratagem and warlord trait.
It was only 21, Alex. Come on.
Oh, I'm sorry. Only 21, Adam.
I've told you a million times, do not exaggerate.
Yeah. A million, Adam, right? And that's not an exaggeration.
That was the joke, of course.
Yeah. No, I'm just explaining it so it's worse for you. You're welcome.
way worse now. Way worse.
Yeah. Yeah. So that happened. So the Abominant stood up again, and also 2 small knights died as war dogs of some flavor. No, turtle down on the Tau Custodes match.
Somebody called the protection agency. We can't allow this kind of animal brutality, right?
The Custodes threw drinking straws at him. It was super effective.
I'm going to leave you guys to your commentary, start, and go to bed.
Dude, thank you very much. Chris. Thank you extremely much for filling in for me, mate. Much appreciated.
No worries. Happy to do it. It was great fun, and I look forward to doing it again on Saturday.
Can't wait, man. Good luck to you.
Cheers. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, my man. We're just gonna roll, right? We're just gonna roll.
Yeah.
Till the day gets old.
We're time is fake. We are doing stuff.
Yeah,
this game. There's 40k.
Doing stuff. Have we just got the single game to be shown for you guys, or we got a second one being set up?
I think since we've had 2 other stream games, beside this one, it might be that we're exhausting the number of stream games available.
That's totally fair.
Yeah.
All the games we run out.
People are just it's early on in Charity Hammer, so everyone's hyped up and have far too much energy. It's only the first Thursday.
They haven't lost a night's sleep yet playing through the night. Then we'll see the real, boys from the men kind of garbage, toxic masculinity stuff, rise to the surface.
Look, I think collectively between yourself, myself, and Chris, we've probably lost a night, like 1 night's sleep between us, right?
Oh, easily.
Yeah. Chris was about to lose it. I was down a bit, staying up for the data slate. Yeah.
Nice. Oh, we do what we do for the game and the community we love.
Yeah.
And hopefully you guys will honor that and give freely to Charity Hammer so they can provide all those beautiful gaming needs and supplies for kids undergoing medical treatment. Please give if you can. Did we give away any prizes that I missed?
Oh, if we did, I missed them as well.
Because it would have been Colin in Colin's little segment.
Indeed.
Nice. Hopefully somebody won some awesome stuff.
I'm sure some people have won some things. But if you don't want to miss out on winning anymore, people should donate more. If the earlier you donate, the more raffles it's better value to donate early because your raffle tickets will have more chances to be drawn.
It'll go through more draws. Exactly right, dude. We had a question pretty much. There's a secondary here I've never seen before. Mortalis for the Custodes. What is that one?
Orc Mortalis. So that is you select your opponent's Supreme Commander if they have one, otherwise their most expensive unit, and you sort of mark that for death. If you kill that unit, you get 5 points. Or if it dies. If you do it with a melee attack, you get another 5 points.
Yep.
And if you do it without them being in your deployment zone, that is yet another 5 points. It used to be you had to be more than 6 from your deployment zone, I believe. And also for each Custodes unit their sort of marked unit killed, you lost 2 points. But with the new changes, it just doesn't have that downside. So you can't lose points for that unit killing things, and it needs to get into your deployment zone for you to lose the points there as well.
Well, happy to hear, because that sounded absolute garbage until you got to the not having that caveat anymore.
I actually have taken it a fair bit as well, Adam. This has the same. It feels the same as when you were talking to Anthony on your Chaos Knights review, and their reverse to the last.
Yeah,
it's I actually find it's been quite good in a few games. Sometimes it can be just a coin flip gamble. Like I took it in a mirror for a teams list, and we were just marking each other's bike units. So he won the duel on that front. He scored a 15, I think, for killing my bike unit. I didn't score any, but he I don't think scored any stranglehold or much primary, and so things went well the other way.
Good. Well, happy to hear. And Anthony definitely did talk me around on that strat. And now without to the last in it, people having far less incentives to not use their expensive stuff. I think these strats are these secondaries are way better now.
Yeah, for sure. So I've taken it against stuff like Leviathan Warrior Bricks because like that needs to sort of go up and get value in the middle. And so you're probably going to need to go and try kill it. So you may as well go get some points for doing that, right?
Spot on.
So yeah. It's and it's in the same category as like assassinate and bring it down and such, where that's probably the easiest one for armies to not give anything up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To be built to you mean to be built to not give up, right?
Yeah, big time.
Yeah, I absolutely tend to agree, mate. Thank you to everybody who's joined us so far. In this table, what are you particularly seeing? I'm trying to have a little bit of a deep dive because I am just joining it early. Is there one huge unit of bikes in the top middle of the board?
There are. It looks like
7?
there's 4 bikes. Oh no, that is a lot of bikes, isn't it?
I can't 7 bikes.
So it could be that it's. I don't know what the lists are. That could be 2 units and a bike captain.
Yeah,
that could explain it.
Mm.
But it could also be just someone being an absolute champion with
if you've
7 bikes.
If you only got those 2 awesome strats to use on them, you might as well only have 1 primo unit to use them on, right?
Wrong, Adam. You do not have those 2 awesome strats to use on bikes anymore.
That was in
the previous data slate. Yeah, it's only infantry now. So you can't use either on the bikes, and it also stopped you from being able to turn off rerolls on your dreadnoughts.
That's bad time. It's bad time.
Yeah. I'm just going to go check that you can actually take bike units that big. I can't remember if they can still do that.
You totally can. From I remember, you can take them up to 9, I believe.
That was in the past. They might be capped at 6 now.
Oh, true. Well, if it is 6,
no, they are capped at 6 now.
There you go. So it's a 6.
Yeah, they are 3 to 6. Man, these stream games are like
a 3/3 and a character.
Yeah. It could be some combination of that. These armies on stream are really helping me look somewhat good when some of my factions have been relevant, so I can go get the books.
Love it. Always love being relevant. Who doesn't?
Yeah. I'm not sure. It can't be that relevant.
I'm really relevant. It's all good. All right.
Yeah.
Never mind.
So what are we saying? So we had a turn 1 recap earlier. So the drones and one of the crisis from the marked unit were killed. And Sagittarian were killed and returned by Noah's Tower.
Yep.
So this turn it looks like some of they might be devilfish, they might be hammerheads. I'm not quite sure what they are. They went down. I'm not seeing a whole lot of tower around. That might just be because suits are more expensive and they're hiding.
Yep. We have just been told that they're going to be re-racking the night game for the decider. For the
it's a best of 3.
I love it.
All right, so we've got at least a broadside coming out, and that looks like, is it Kroot strung out across between the 2 objectives there? From the tower?
Yes,
because I assume it's not some custodies. Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely does. Well, there isn't any custodies unit that comes in a 10-man, right? No one takes 10 Sisters of Silence, do they?
I don't think so. There's maybe some argument you could do it with some swords. Maybe. People were talking about that early, but yes, no, you don't do that.
Yeah, and they're way bigger than any custodian unit. Got a single broadside hunkering down on that middle right-hand objective. And it looks like he still does have quite a bit of strength, big crisis unit, plus what looks to be, I think, a devilfish. Definitely not a freaking hammerhead railgun on the back of that turtle. And I assume that's a commander behind the devilfish.
Yeah, I would assume so. Is that another commander sitting on the same objective as the broadside as well? Noah, your models are awesome, but without your wonderful pre-game spiel, it's not helping us commentators over here.
Well, do you know what sept this is?
I don't. I'm sorry.
Because it's considerably smaller than the other commander, so I was guessing it could be an ethereal or Shadow Sun. If it's a commander, Shadow Sun being
that's true.
Smaller than another commander would have made sense, but who knows?
Yeah, I know Noah has a different type of big monster for each of his different suit options. Like he has a big pyramid to represent a storm surge if he were to run it.
There are a lot of bikes on this table, mate. I've just spotted another 3.
Oh yeah. No, there are a lot of bikes. I would be sweating if I were Noah because they are right midboard. I think he's coming out, I assume, to try really put the hurt on them. And if this doesn't go well for him, I think he might be in for a rough time. So I think he's just auto-advanced these crisis.
Yep, there's Shadow Sun, by the way.
Because there was a...
Shadow Sun just moved out from the back. She's got 2 drones with their one's red and one's blue. That makes me think it's Shadow Sun for sure. But anyway, we're going to jump over and check out the Knights game. because I want to see the re-rack here. We've also been told that Mitchell, the lovely Custodes player, is bowing out for a couple of minutes to get something to eat while they pursue this endeavor. So we'll jump over and have a quick gaze at how the Knight Army's unfolded. We're probably going to be, back with this game before, Mitchell's finished eating with how this game's been going.
Look, we've missed it already, Adam. I assume it's just over already. I think they probably just rolled for first turn, then shook hands.
I shook hands. That's it. It's over. You'd love to see it in
the triple Meguralist, honestly, since last Charity Hammer,
nice.
until it got nerfed, and just terrorizing my whole country to some extent with it. But with since the Tower book came out, really, the damage went up massively, and so with the new Knights book, they haven't gained masses in the durability department, but instead have some damage. So the small knights can do, but that's a command phase buff. So so if you're just getting shot at early by other knights, it can really hurt.
Yeah, dude, it's very rough. Durability wise, from the two books, I feel like the Imperial Knights have it better durability wise. Like just from the -1 damage on the Bondsman's oath, make just all the difference there. But like the explosive damage output, apart from the mortal wounds exclusively on the Crusader, the Renegade Knights have all of it, right?
Yeah. So like to be honest, despite having them, I'm not that familiar with like the Abominant or big build sort of side of Chaos Knights. So I've been playing the very, very polish your brain, unga bunga, run at people, oops or war dog sort of build, where you're just running around with as many of the little war dog idiots as you can afford. And they're all obsec. They just run at stuff. Things die. You kill things. It can be a good time.
It's a pretty good time.
Yeah. So on the, if they have a rampager though, that can do just obscene damage. That like it touches almost anything and it will just delete it. Yeah. And yeah, for sure, the Imperial Knights obviously can shoot pretty good.
No problems. Looks like we have a little bit of pause in action. I think they want to. I've been told they want to redo the terrain, as in I'm assuming they've played 2 games on the same map, right? And they want to rejig it for something a little bit more spicy for the third.
Yeah, I think so. I just saw Knights teleport. I think the stream is being reset, and some ruins are getting moved now.
Yeah.
These are. You go ahead, Adam.
Yeah, it looks like they've been playing exclusively the WTC the WTC formats. I'm assuming that's because there are quite a few WTC level players here who want to practice that packet, because that is the next big international event coming. Like, I think there's only there's a handful of events that you could truly call international now. LVO, LGT, WTC. There's the teams event in Talavera in Spain, which last year was I think 600 odd players, and it's going to be at least that big again. So we're starting to get these like international destination events, which I'm super excited to kind of tick off one by one.
Yeah, well, hopefully that we'll actually put the NZ in the ANZTC next year. I'm hoping to go to that.
Yeah, so, boy, yeah. Come on down. And come to WTC as well. Get NZ on the WTC front.
I do not have that kind of money, sir.
Fair enough.
I have given some of the money that I can to Child's Play, though. So,
lovely. Thank you.
Yeah. But, so support everyone. It's if you can, it's a great cause to give to. And you could win some stuff.
Absolutely. And we certainly put our money where our mouth is as the commentator duo. I've definitely contributed every year. It's always a pleasure of mine to do so. It's just such a worthy cause. Did you get a running total by any chance while I was off screen?
I do not have. If I've been given that information, I'm not aware that I've been given that information.
No stress. Do not worry yourself. Colin will be on at some point to inform us.
Yeah.
Shout outs in chat to Christopher Irvine calling us again. Go to sleep. Matthew Nurgle, Seth Oster still hanging tight. Champions, one and all. Thank you very much. Spread the word.
Space Marines getting play?
Yeah. Hold fire, mate. I think we're down.
Oh dear.
No, I think we're back. Sorry.
All right. So if we were in fact down, as I just said that bit, from this point out, where all the games should be played with new points and missions, and
Yeah.
once they're available, new Chaos Space Marines as well.
Oh, dude, I'm so keen. I asked over on the Thursday show. We usually have a certain level of tolerance for different armies being good for certain amounts of time. Like I think Ned's got. We allowed them to be good for like a hot second before we were like, kill him, nerf him. And the same for Eldar. But for Tyranids, I think that was because they'd already had it so good with like Crusher Stampede. They already had a top build, and we all felt it was just kind of like the rich getting richer for Tyranids.
Look, that's fair, but let's not forget they were in the bin before
Crusher.
Before that, yeah, before Crusher came out and Leviathan, they were having a right old time.
Yeah, they were absolutely pants like nowhere, right?
Yeah.
Whereas we kind of have a different set of tolerances for different factions, and I'm wondering how long we're willing to give Chaos Space Marines. If they come out and they're absolutely cranked, I am literally willing to shut my mouth about them and not call for a nerf or a change for like 3 solid months, just because I think Chaos players absolutely deserve it.
One of my friends pointed out that it would be really, really wonderful if the Chaos Land Raider. It's not going to matter. But if the Chaos Land Raider has its D6 plus 2 damage las cannons and toughness 9 for like 2 years, and the Imperial one just sucks.
This sucks for 2 years. Yeah, it would be
it would be funny. It wouldn't be quite as good though. And then on the other hand, I thought it'd be funny if it does happen, and then we've got just the Custodes, Rhino, and Land Raider both being the worst in the game. Because it's the only Rhino that doesn't have armor contempt. It's funny.
I love this. This is great. This is great.
Yeah.
We can hear you. How many bigs, how many smalls on each of these lists? It looks like 2 bigs and a bunch of smalls for the Chaos, which I'm assuming is in the top right.
Yeah, I think it's 2 and 6 for both. John said in sort of his bit between the 2 rounds of the worst RTT that he thinks the best Imperial Knight list is 2 big, 6 small, all with guns is his quick summary of it.
All
and
guns.
I believe that's what he's playing. Yeah, I think it's a Crusader and a Paladin on the Imperial side. He was rolling Field of Pain, so I'm pretty confident he is playing House Tyrannus.
Yep.
And so he will have. So if I had to go through and predict some of the things he has, I think he has the Paladin that will be upgraded with Princeps, which is you can hand out your Bondsman buff twice because he's got an upgrade, and one of those times can be to a Questoris class model.
Correct.
And so he'll be giving that to the Crusader, and so that'll probably have. It will almost certainly have Endless Fury for extra shots on its Avenger Gatling cannon. It could either have the Tyrannus Knight of Mars, so he can have an auto 6 in there. Say if he had had a thermal cannon, just auto one of those wound rolls for the big damage that strat active. I don't know if I should keep talking here. I'm going to keep talking and might repeat myself.
No, that's fine. Just hold fire until you see the picture, mate. Usually what I do. We only have so much breath in our bodies, even I.
Yeah. Oh no.
I'm sitting here gluing Hellblasters to bases for my team's event tomorrow.
Hell yeah.
I've quietly been doing some little bits and pieces hobby wise just to keep me focused.
Yeah. I think we may be back. In theory, it is back, says the Tech Priest. I am going to refresh a page or two so I can contribute to viewer numbers while commentating.
Good man.
It's a cunning ploy. Yeah. And so if those are running, then I'll start going back through lists. Which I don't. Yep, it's just come back for me, which accounts for stream delay. So here we go. So John was saying he thinks that 2 big, 6 small is the best. So I believe it'll be a Paladin with Princeps, so he can hand out his reroll 1s to hit and wound to the big knight, the other big knight, which I assume is a Crusader.
Yep.
And so that guy will be upgraded with, I cannot remember the name of it, but is a upgrade that means he will get a effectively he gets a free blade trait in addition to being his household.
Yep.
And a stratagem used on a knight under the bondsman ability can be free once per game, which will be the wound rolls, do your damage in mortal wounds roll, part of that combo.
Yeah, the dunk. The dunk.
Yeah.
The things.
And then he's got 2 warlord trait options, one of which is sort of a miracle die to auto wound a 6, or he might just have the 6s to wound out mortal wounds in addition. Would be the 2 warlord trait options.
Yep.
And then he's probably got some Helverins and some Warglaives, a unit of each, it looks like. So some shooty, some
right
choppy.
for me. That's a good list. It's very strong.
Yeah. And then I don't really know what's going on with the Chaos Knight. It looks like there might be a Rampager to just run up and hit things real hard. Some Carnivores to go with them.
Yeah.
There were some Brigands chilling in the back. So the double gun, like Melter, Chain Cannon, Chaos Knights. There's an Abominant doing psychic things.
Abominable things?
Yeah.
Abominable things.
Yeah. And I don't quite know what some of the other Chaos Knights are that are there. So it looks like a pack of Carnivores, and then maybe they're Stalkers, maybe they're more Carnivores.
It's all the same.
Yeah.
It's all just dead nonsense to me.
Yeah, the Abominant's probably got Blessing of the Dark Master, so you can't reroll against it, and that'll give him the Chaos Undivided mark, which lets him stand up on a 4-up for 2 CP when he dies.
It's so freaking strong. The mark of Dark Master is absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah. So yeah, do we know what's going on with the game? Is this like the start of shooting? I see wound counters being put down. Yeah, I think John's moved out and is taking some pot shots. So it looks like the Imperial Knights have gone first. Is that right?
Yep. Oh, it's on, mate.
Oh yeah.
Let the bodies hit the floor, or the mechanized monstrosities, whichever is your flavor. Do you have any soft spots for Chaos Knights, or are you Imperium all the way?
No, I've hopped over. I'm running some Chaos Knights now. So
Oh shit, cool.
From the Best in Tabletop Discord, talking to Anthony, I was convinced to do bad decisions. One Saturday, I decided, all right, because we have a smaller points tournament coming up, and trying to build Imperial Knight lists for that point, the CP didn't work very nicely. Chaos Knights it was nicer. And I went and if the store has the Chaos Knights box, I'm gonna buy it.
Nice.
And so I did that. Was sad about the money. Sold off the Abominant to recover some of it. Saw someone else was selling just more War Dogs. Bought them, and so now I have 10 War Dogs because I've magnetized my stuff so I can swap them.
How all great things begin.
Oh yeah, and so I'm trying to design myself
financial decisions.
Oh yeah, for sure. But and so I'm also trying to design myself some bonus slaughter claws to get printed and attached on.
Cool, dude. That sounds awesome.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely not regretting my decisions to be like, I'll just do this. It'll be fine. It won't be a pile of effort.
A pile of effort. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Where's Morgan Freeman? It was in fact a pile of effort.
Yeah. So how about yourself? Do you have a preference? Because you're an Imperium man, right? And your Dark Angels and
Guard,
did you play Guard in the past?
Yeah. Guard is still kind of first love, but I decided after playing them solid and playing nothing else for like 3.5 years, I was going to just drop them for a bit. And then I actually started Black Templars, and then I started Dark Angels, and I've been sticking fat with the Dark Angels for almost the same amount of time, mind you, way less games because of COVID. But yeah, it'll almost be time for me to drop off the Dark Angels soon, because I'm just so done painting them, to be honest. So looking forward to that personally. And I'm going to be doing some Knights. I'm going to be doing them as just as much of a hobby project as a competitive army. And I actually can't wait, man, just to do something different.
So it looks like John has managed to shoot down one of the War Dogs who was chilling in the back. I wonder, these guys might be playing this as WTC terrain. So those big L blockers in the middle, the windows are actually not being counted as being there. Yeah. Maybe.
So
in which case you can hide Big Knights.
John's playing for Team America. He pretty much won't play on anything else with only like it's so short a time until the WTC. Like if I was his coach, I'd be like, you do not play on any other pack at any other terrain set. You're only playing WTC from now until the 3rd week of August, and then you can play whatever you want again. Because yeah, it's just that necessary for the team. Everyone's got to put it in.
And so we've just had come through from the table boss. The tower were not in fact able to do it, and were about to get steamrolled by some, I assume, some Custody spikes.
Wow, there you go.
And so yeah, it was. Do we need to switch about this, or are we just gonna? They're just backing up, I think we can just talk through it. But
yeah, we can just hang here.
He's going to need to revise his list before tomorrow, which I believe is when he'll start in the. Is it the hardest RTT ever? What's the term that they go for?
It's pretty much. It's the hardest. Yeah. But I think it's they're doing a GT because they're doing a 2-dayer. But I'm not sure if they have enough. Oh, that's right. Did they hear that? What you just said, mate? Okay, so it's broken down into 2 RTTs, which will then break down into pods each, culminating in a finals game. So essentially, it's 2 separate RTTs with winners and losers going into upper and bottom pods. And then I'm assuming there'll be a duke out finals between the 2 winners of the RTTs.
I think it's the 2 pod. No, there's 4 pods currently. There's 2 of 6, 2 of 4. I think so. 20 players, yep. Because they were meant to be 28 players, but there have been some unexpected drops in the. Colin has had a hell of a week with new rules dropping. He's had between his his event that he ran and Charity Hammer, and then many players needing to drop. So the pods was done so that it can accommodate fluctuating player numbers.
Yep.
So there's 2 4s and 2 6s. Then I think the top 2 of each of those pods goes into a 3-round 8-person single elimination tournament. Find the winner.
Be sick. Who's your pick to win?
Oh yeah. I don't know. I'm not even super confident on who is in it still at the stage.
Still attending. I kind of feel the same way.
Yeah, our podcast did a drafting thing. So everyone of the 28 players that were meant to be playing, we all drafted a team of 7, cycling around with the 4 of us, which was a good laugh. Partway through, I realized, hang on, is Sean Naden not meant to be playing? Because one of the JTs was doubled up, and old mate Ben Way was a little bit cut that I remembered that, and he was just sort of sneakily hidden there, which it was a good laugh, and we'll come out with our next episode. But
nice.
Not super relevant with how the format's changed, but we'll see.
Unfortunately, but it is what it is, man. We're still in some pretty uncertain times, and I'm just happy this could take place at all.
For sure, and there's going to be some great players to try and duke it out at the top. Do we know what's going on with the game? There appears to be Knights are dying a whole lot slower.
Yeah, it seems to be a break in the action. Mind you, is that 2 Helverins already dead for the Chaos Knights?
True. Yeah, no, it's 2. I don't know if they were the Helverin equivalents, but there are 2 War Dogs who have gone down.
Apologies, I didn't mean Helverins in perspective.
For sure.
Generic little Doge.
Yeah. I think they were either Stalkers or Carnivores, because I think they had a gun and I think they had a melee weapon at least, and maybe a gun.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Man, cool. The War Dogs are so much better than the Armigers. Like, holy crap!
The options available.
Yeah, the Chaos Knights are just.
The game was called for Imperial Knights already, apparently.
Oh, snap, crackle, and pop! That was spicy fast. So yeah,
I wonder.
Another go first adventure.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I wonder if the one of the Big Knights shot at the Rampager, I think it is, that's just sitting in the open there, and because if that got picked up, that might have just been it.
Yeah, it's fair enough. I mean, you lose a Big Knight and 2 Little Knights turn 1. There's not a great amount of coming back from that. The Knights versus Knights game is just so binary. It's so like big win, big loss. It like as a avid Teams player, you hate to see that happen in a Teams environment because you're just feeding such a good tool straight to the wolves. Like there is no amicable outcome there that's going to be worth what you're risking.
Yeah. Do you have on your pairings matrix? Do you have like black as one of the color options when it's just a coin flip?
No, we actually
is that a system?
We use that as yellow usually when yellow is just like it's too close to call, or it could easily flip either way. We use orange. We use like the traffic lights, but we go a little bit deeper. Like we do a deep orange or a deep green for when it's super. So deep orange is when it's bad, but you'll get like 5 to 1 point. You know.
Yeah.
A red is you're expecting to get 0.
Right. Yeah.
Is usually how we do it, but sometimes we don't even go that deep. We just keep it to the basic 3. So we are going to wrap up for today's coverage. I believe we might be back later. Colin is going to chat to you guys for a bit. We will be back though. I'm hearing that we will be back with some more spicy games. So stay tuned, sit tight, wet a brush, and hear from the man of the hour, Colin Sherman.
He's probably going to give some things away. Good luck.
I would assume.
Hey guys, I hope we're still having fun. I'm still having fun. I can't believe that it is like, how late is it? 9 o'clock at night? It's a little bit, what? 8 o'clock? Yeah. It really looks like 8 o'clock at night out there, doesn't it? Welcome to incredibly northern in our country. Okay, so we need to take the stream down for a little bit because the computer that's hosting the main stream is the thing that's causing the problems, we believe. So we're going to